The music stopped, not because the song had ended, because my father stood up, pointed directly at me, and said loud enough for every guest to hear, "From this moment on, I have no daughter." The wedding hall fell into complete silence. The bouquet slipped from my trembling hands. My mother burst into tears. Even the photographer lowered his camera. And my groom, he tightened his grip around my hand as if silently promising that no matter what happened next, he wasn't letting me face it alone. I never imagined the happiest day of my life would become the day my own father erased me from his family. But to understand why he did it, you have to know what happened 6 months earlier. My name is Emma. I grew up in a home where love always came with conditions. My father, Richard, believed he owned every decision I made. He decided what I wore, which university I attended, who my friends were, even the career I should pursue. Whenever I disagreed, he'd say the same sentence: "Everything I do is for your own good." For years I believed him, until I met Daniel. Daniel wasn't rich. He didn't come from an influential family. He worked as a school teacher and spent weekends coaching children at the local community center. He had kind eyes and the sort of smile that made people feel safe. My father hated him immediately. "Teachers don't build fortunes," he sneered after meeting him. "They survive. My daughter deserves someone successful." But Daniel gave me something money never could: peace. For the first time in my life, I felt seen, not controlled. When Daniel proposed, I didn't hesitate. I said yes before he could even finish asking. That single word changed everything. The night I told my father, he exploded. "You'll marry the man I've chosen," he shouted. "I am not property," I replied. His face hardened. "As long as you live under my roof, you'll do exactly as I say." That same evening, I packed 2 suitcases. I left the mansion with nothing except my clothes, a few books, and the engagement ring on my finger. My mother hugged me secretly before I walked out. She slipped a folded note into my pocket. "I'm proud of you. I'm sorry I can't be brave too." I cried the entire taxi ride, not because I regretted leaving, because I realized I'd never truly had a home. Daniel and I started over in a tiny apartment. The ceiling leaked whenever it rained. The heater barely worked. Some nights we ate instant noodles because money was tight. But every meal came with laughter. Every struggle was shared. Every morning I woke up feeling free. Those months taught me something important. Luxury can decorate a house. Love creates a home. 3 months later, our wedding invitations were ready. I stared at one for almost an hour. Should I invite my parents? Daniel squeezed my shoulder. "You'll never regret giving someone a chance." So I mailed them an invitation. No expectations, just hope. Weeks passed. No reply. I assumed they wouldn't come. I told myself I was okay with that. I lied. Every daughter dreams of seeing her parents smile on her wedding day. The ceremony began on a warm spring afternoon. White roses lined the aisle. Soft piano music floated through the garden. Friends surrounded us with genuine happiness. As I walked toward Daniel, I noticed 2 familiar faces standing near the back. My parents. My heart nearly stopped. My mother smiled through tears. My father looked expressionless. Maybe, just maybe, he had come to forgive me. The ceremony continued beautifully. We exchanged vows. Daniel promised to choose me every day for the rest of his life. I could barely speak through my tears as I promised the same. The guests applauded. We were finally husband and wife. I thought the worst was behind us. I couldn't have been more wrong. During the reception, the host invited family members to share a few words. Before anyone else could stand, my father walked toward the microphone. My stomach tightened. At first, he smiled politely. "I've watched my daughter grow into a beautiful woman." The guests relaxed. So did I. Then everything changed. "But today," he turned toward me, "she has chosen to disgrace our family." The room froze. I warned her this marriage would destroy her future. He pointed at Daniel. "That man stole my daughter." Daniel stood but remained silent. "I refuse to recognize this marriage," my father continued. "And from today onward," he paused dramatically, "I have no daughter." Gasps echoed across the hall. Someone dropped a glass. My mother's sobs filled the silence. Every eye turned toward me. I couldn't breathe. Years of trying to earn his love, gone in a single sentence. Before I could react, Daniel gently stepped forward. He didn't yell. He didn't insult my father. He simply took the microphone. "I've spent years wondering what kind of man could raise someone as compassionate as Emma. He looked directly at my father. Now I understand. Everyone waited. You taught her strength. My father frowned, because despite everything you've done today, Daniel continued calmly, she still hopes people can choose kindness. The room became silent again. If disowning her makes you feel powerful, he said, then keep your title. He wrapped his arm around me. But understand this. You didn't lose your daughter today. You chose to walk away from her. The guests erupted into applause. Several people stood. Even strangers wiped away tears. For the first time in years, I didn't feel small. My father looked around. He expected support. Instead, he found disappointed faces. One by one, relatives lowered their eyes. No one defended him, not even his own brothers. Then something unexpected happened. My mother slowly walked across the room. She stopped beside me. Without saying a word, she hugged me tightly. I should have done this years ago, she whispered. I'm sorry. She removed her wedding ring, walked back to my father, placed it gently into his hand. I'm done choosing fear. The entire hall watched in stunned silence. Then she returned to stand beside me. For the first time in my life, my mother chose us. The celebration continued, not because the pain disappeared, but because love proved stronger than pride. We danced, we laughed, we cried. The wedding wasn't perfect. It was real. Months passed. Daniel and I built a quiet, happy life together. My mother moved into a small apartment nearby and slowly rediscovered herself. She smiled more than I'd ever seen. As for my father, he remained silent. No calls, no letters, nothing. Until almost 2 years later, one rainy evening, someone knocked on our front door. When I opened it, he stood there, older, thinner, lonelier. He held a small gift box. I don't expect forgiveness, he said softly. I only wanted to tell you, I was wrong. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Some wounds don't disappear with an apology, but they can begin to heal. I invited him inside, not because he'd earned it, because I refused to let bitterness become my inheritance. That evening, we talked for hours, not as a controlling father and frightened daughter, but as two imperfect people trying to rebuild what pride had destroyed. Some relationships never return to what they were. Maybe they're not supposed to. Sometimes they become something quieter, more honest, more fragile, yet somehow more real. If there's one lesson my wedding taught me, it's this. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by the people who choose to stand beside you when the whole world walks away. On the day my father disowned me, I thought I had lost my family. Instead, I discovered who my real family truly was.